Welcome to Crushing Kayfabe. My name is Jason Garish, and thank you for tuning in. Well, technically today is our 1-year anniversary show, but I'm going to try to save that for next week. We'll see if I can do a little something special, maybe some video. We'll see how things work out. But yeah, it's been really hard to believe that it's been 1 year. I thank everybody for keeping me going. Thank you for everybody that supported me, and thank you so much. A lot of stuff's happened 1 year, man. Gone from AEW being the kind of the darlings to now WWE being that, and Triple H being that. A lot can happen in 1 year, but we'll see. Maybe we'll have some kind of recap or kind of go over that next week. We'll see. It'll be cool. Like I said, maybe I'll try and get some video going. We'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll do something special here. Be really cool. But thank you everyone for your support. Thank you for keeping me going for 1 year, and I really appreciate it. An interesting weekend in the NFL again. I can't believe the Giants are 6-1. That just blows my mind absolutely. But that shows what good coaching, what good decision making, what play calling will do for you, because they have some pretty glaring weaknesses with that team, but they make up for it with good execution and smart play calling. And wow, that shocks me. I was really surprised to see that, but they're doing it. Let's see down the stretch if this team's legit, because they're looking like a playoff caliber team. So good for them. Good for them, man. Both the Titans and the Raiders won. I'm happy about that. Raiders, I wish I didn't really win the way that they did, because they shouldn't have had to come back against the Texans. This should have been a blowout from the start, but hey, a win's a win, I guess. Devontae Adams had a real good game. Jacobs had a real good game. Jacobs has had now 3 games in a row where he's had 140 plus yards rushing. So he's finally found his stride, and I think they've finally figured out, hey, if we have this star running back, if we give him the ball, we'll win. Surprise, surprise, because they never gave him enough touches. I think everybody's been worried about his durability because he's had issues throughout the season, but maybe if we can kind of trade things off with White, I know he's a rookie, but maybe trade off some carries with him and help him keep going. That way he won't be as banged up at the end of the season, because we're going to need Jacobs at the end of the season if we are to make any type of playoff run. But I'm glad my Raiders won, and good game all around the board. Defense kind of starting to look a little better, kind of gelling, becoming a little more solid. I'm happy about that. I haven't been real happy so far with the way the defense has performed. Would have liked to have seen a little more pressure on the quarterback. Chandler Jones and Farrell Cleveland got half a sack each. They combined on that sack. So a couple of little weird, interesting flea flicker type plays where the ball was passed back to Derek Carr from Josh Jacobs. Looked kind of neat, little razzle dazzle. I'm just glad it worked, because that would have been a disaster if it didn't. So I'm happy that worked. None of the highlight reels have shown that, which is kind of interesting. But some little razzle dazzle, some interesting plays. That's kind of the things I expected to see with McDaniels. Being the quote unquote offensive mastermind that he is, that people claim him to be. So I was kind of expecting that earlier on, but didn't see it. But hopefully everybody's starting to sell into the system, and we can start putting some games together, start putting some wins together. It's a real soft portion of the schedule right now, and coming off a bye, looks like they're well rested and ready to go. Maybe a little too well rested. They didn't wake up until the half, it seems like, but a win's a win. They just need to sustain that and keep playing like that, and keep going. Get ahead, give the ball to Josh Jacobs. That's my one bit of advice right there. Get ahead, give the ball to Josh Jacobs, and keep doing it. I'm just not sure that he's going to be healthy towards the end of the season. Hopefully White can pick up some of that slack and keep going. But like I said, 3 140-yard plus games in a row is impressive, and I think he's the only Raider to do that in the history of Raiders. He's gotten believe he's gotten more yardage quicker than like Marcus Allen or something along those lines. So hopefully we can sustain this down the line. Offensive line's playing a little better, I should say. So let's continue that. Keep things going. And also, let's see. Hey, we got some wrestling stuff going on too. WWE got a lot of continuation of storylines. Nothing real groundbreaking or real conclusive of any storylines, but continuing the feud with AJ and Judgment Day with Dominic Mysterio getting a win over AJ on Raw. Continuing the feud, Lesnar and Lashley. I'm looking forward to that. I would just wish to God they didn't take the belt off of Lashley, because it just demeans the belt when it's on Raw. It would be nice when somebody probably, I don't know if they're going to bring Cody back and put the belt on him, the championship. I'd rather see him go for like the Universal, take it off of Reigns, the combined belts there, but we'll see how this works. Maybe he'll take out Rollins first. I don't know. That'll be U.S. champion. I hate that, though, if they did go that route, because then it just keeps him in mid-card status again. That's exactly why he left WWE in the first place, so I hope they don't do that. But we'll see. It's turned out that SmackDown is really the better show, and I kind of predicted this as soon as they started bringing over some impressive athletes, some impressive wrestlers over to SmackDown. Like, now we've got Bray, who's going to be exclusive to SmackDown. We've got Karrion Kross, Drew. We've got, Ray is going to be on SmackDown, challenging for the Intercontinental title. Man, I'm thinking that might be a squash match. I don't know. I don't think they're going to take the title off of Gunther right now. I don't think it would be smart booking for him, because he's really, really doing well. I liked his feud between like him and Sheamus. Really good stuff. But we'll see. And speaking of Sheamus, Solo Sikoa had a win over him, establishing him as a dominant enforcer. So good booking there, I think. But to me, the whole thing that makes all this going on is Bray's return, and had a real interesting promo they cut, almost hinting at some heelish turn in the future, at least maybe a tweener kind of thing going on, because he started out a little bit, in the quote-unquote Bray Wyatt character, the real Bray Wyatt, whatever that is, kind of thing, and then quickly turned more sinister as the promo went on. At one point saying, "I'm just a servant, now I go where the circle takes me," and being interrupted once again with that masked figure, and then at some point they showed another character. So once again, prolonging this whole Bray Wyatt storyline, and they're doing a great job doing it, because I think he's going to slowly evolve into a brand new character that we've never seen before, and that's going to be really cool. This guy is so brilliant creatively, so I'm really looking forward to see what he comes up with. And they hired that writer that was experienced with horror writing in the past, so I think these guys are going to come up with some really good stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, at some point there was another White Rabbit QR code, which I haven't gotten a chance to check out, so some real good, interesting stuff come down the pike there, and I'm going to enjoy it. We're setting up once again. Was it the I even forget what the event is called, the Saudi Arabia event. Wow, that's real bad. But I kind of like to refer to it as the Blood Money event. But this is kind of like their Black Friday. They make a ton of money off this one event going overseas. Otherwise, why would they do it? But they're setting up the whole thing. Obviously the Logan Paul thing against the Tribal Chief, and not a matchup I'm really looking forward to, because it takes a lot to pull a good match out of Roman Reigns, but I'm not sure that Logan Paul is experienced enough and ready enough to be able to do that. He's trained with Shawn Michaels, obviously, at least kayfabe-wise. He's trained with him. They've showed a few interesting little vignettes with him training with Shawn Michaels, and that's the guy to do it with if you're going to do it with. And I think that's a great pairing. Pair him up with Shawn Michaels, because athletically they kind of do have some similar attributes, so I think he could really learn a lot from Michaels, Oh, what else we have? We got this weird thing going on with Liv Morgan, where she seems to enjoy pain, which is real weird. I guess Liv Morgan's new character is that she's a sadomasochist, bringing all the chairs in to beat on her opponent and whatnot. Sonya Deville, if that's her new thing, that's her new thing. At least it makes it a little more interesting, because the girl can't wrestle. So if you can do this and have her be brutal, I guess that works. It's a little more interesting than actually watching her in a wrestling match, because she's horrible at it, and that kind of is shown with the match between her and Ronda Rousey. But we'll see how that plays out, because like I said, at least it's somewhat entertaining, because she is absolutely awful in the ring. So maybe they can do that with creative to help her along. So good for that, I guess. Had stepping away from WWE and kind of moving on to AEW, had Dynamite. We had an absolutely incredible exchange between MJF and William Regal. This is one of the best confrontations / promos I've seen in a very long time. Kudos to both those guys. Great exchange between MJF and William Regal, and bringing up the whole past, with MJF submitting his tapes and whatnot, trying out for WWE, and William Regal eventually kind of blowing him off. It's great when they bring in these reality-based storylines, and the reactions between both of these guys just felt so real and so intense. Regal's facial expressions, MJF's expressions, his new little nuances. I mean, excellent work between those two. Just incredible storytelling, incredible work, and which eventually led to MJF, setting up his confrontation between him and Moxley at the next pay-per-view. So I have to hand it to both those. Everything with MJF is just brilliant. He is just the best heel in the business right now, and just one of the few really great shining examples of what to watch with AEW, because a lot of other stuff just isn't getting booked properly and just not being showcased properly. But MJF continues to pull out some just brilliant stuff, just absolutely brilliant. And Regal played off of him brilliantly. I mean, anybody looking to set up a feud, looking to set some things up, should really take notes on that segment. And just brilliant segment, just beautiful. I can't say enough. I can't heap enough praise onto that segment, that Dynamite segment, because it was just perfect, just brilliant. William Regal, once again, a great mind for wrestling. MJF, a great mind for wrestling. And the two of them, I've never seen a guy, this young get it that quickly and just be that good. And he doesn't have to do crazy backflips and stupid things in the ring with head bumps and neck bumps and kill himself in the ring. He tells a story. Old school, just brilliant storytelling. And that's what wrestling is. And, man, this guy to have not gone through the WWE system and he's just that good. Just that damn good. I mean, wow. And I'm happy that Khan paid him. I just hope that, eventually if AEW does fold or whatever happens, that these don't get lost, because people need to be watching that. That's some good stuff right there. And then we ended up having a really good match between Chris Jericho and Dalton Castle. I like this angle that Chris is bringing dishonor to the Ring of Honor title, and he's calling out all the former champions. And man, I've always thought Dalton Castle was underutilized and just one of the underappreciated wrestlers. I mean, a lot of people, I think, get turned off by his gimmick. I don't mind it. In this day and age, I think it's perfectly acceptable gimmick, and it's fun. It's entertaining. I don't know. I mean, this isn't, 20, 30 years ago. He's got his whole gimmick and it works. I mean, unfortunately, he's getting up there in age now, so he's probably not going to see another run at Ring of Honor or any other promotion, but he's probably going to be confined to the independent scenes. But the guy's a real good wrestler, and the match between Jericho, I think they had great chemistry together, and that was a really good one. I was a little disappointed that Jericho didn't cheat, though. I was hoping he'd continue his trend of cheating to win, because that was what really brought dishonor to the belt. Eventually, we had a confrontation at the end, though, when Jerry Lynn came out to confront Jericho. Does this set up an eventual match between Jerry Lynn and Chris Jericho? I'm wondering. Can Jerry Lynn do it at this age, at this point? I don't know if he still has the ability to wrestle. I don't know. It's been a long time since he set foot in the ring. I mean, when he had those matches in ECW and whatnot against RVD, they were tremendous. And his stuff in TNA, I mean, he was a great wrestler in his day, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to pull off a match with Jericho. It should be interesting. I mean, it's one of those quote-unquote dream matches you'd like to see, because I don't believe that the two have ever faced off against each other, but, Lynn not being in his prime, how is that all going to work out? I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think they could probably pull it off, because Jericho is that much of a professional, he'd be able to carry him, so I'll say yeah. Let's see what happens there. Unless Lynn brings out somebody else as a champion to kind of champion him, but I like this whole gimmick of Jericho facing down all of the former Ring of Honor guys. I just hope it doesn't what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't belittle the Ring of Honor title. I hope it actually brings attention to it and does. I like this, and obviously Jericho carrying on as this quote-unquote sports entertainer also brings more light to, brings more of a disgrace to the title, which is interesting, and it looks like Daniel Garcia is back in the fold as part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. I'm a little disappointed in that. I was hoping he was going to go join up with Bryan Danielson, Moxley, and the Blackpool Combat Club, but we'll see there. Let's see. The next biggest thing probably is the whole Hangman Page versus Moxley fight. Initially, I wasn't sure if this was staged or not, but it does look like Hangman Page did genuinely sustain a concussion during the match, which is unfortunate, because I like Page, I like all that. Maybe it's time he starts paying attention to some of those veterans backstage and start listening instead of ignoring them and thinking that he knows everything. Like I said, I like Page a lot, but he has a lot of room to grow. His promos still need work. He needs to get with some of those guys like Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts, and whatnot backstage, and let them give him some advice and tell him what to do, because I think he's just going to continue to have this downward spiral, because he's not looking good lately. And I mean that in the sense of his character has been devalued, and that's not good. Page had a lackluster run with the belt, and that's unfortunate, because like I said, I really liked the guy. I really supported him. Really, really kind of was one of his supporters early on. But but it's looking less and less for him. I just hope to God, though, that he recovers and he doesn't have any type of recurring physical effect from this, because he could be a really good. He is a really good wrestler. He could be a really good figurehead for the company if he gets his act together, kind of. But hopefully he's okay. He was legitimately taken to a hospital after this, from what I understand, and he did legitimately suffer a concussion. From everything that I'm reading, I'm hearing, that a lot of the online people are trying to say that that was a work and all this. I don't think it was. I think he was legitimately hurt, and it looked like they responded in a timely manner. The ref threw up the X, and the doctor at ringside, which kudos to AEW for having a doctor at ringside, responded properly and responded effectively and responded immediately, and hopefully that saves any type of injury, any lingering injuries, I should say, for Page. And it's unfortunate that he did suffer a concussion. So prayers and thoughts going out to Hangman Page. I hope that everything goes well and he recovers fully from that, because that's a real shame. That's a real shame. But you've heard it a million times, though. This isn't ballet. Unfortunately, people do get hurt, and unfortunately, a lot of times it happens at the least appropriate, least opportune time, I guess the word I'm looking for. But it did. They did to obviously had to pull an audible at that point. AEW brought out MJF to confront Moxley. Moxley did his promo, and MJF come out, handed the chip to William Regal, and it looks like it's going to be MJF versus Moxley at Full Gear, which is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. That's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of hoping they put the belt on MJF. I really am. Because he's good enough to carry this company. I really think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. He is the best heel in the world right now. Are they going to turn him babyface after this? I have no idea, but he's good. He's that damn good. In other news, Ace Steel was released by AEW on Wednesday. Can't say I'm really all that surprised. The talk of them buying out CM Punk's contract still persists. Nothing concrete has been released to the public, but it's looking more and more likely that they will buy out the remainder of his contract and release Punk. Can't say I'm surprised at that, but what's going to happen with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega? Kenny Omega has been vital to bringing this video game to light that they finally have pre-orders for. Is this going to affect that? Is this going? Like 4 of the people that they had on the cover during the initial promotions are possibly not going to be with the company when this thing gets released. What can I say about that? And it's Tony Khan's fault for not being a leader and not running his business properly and not keeping things under control and letting things escalate. There's rumors now going around that they're kind of burying people who are friends of Thunder Rosa within the company. So that's no way to run your business. That really isn't. And I don't understand the whole thing with Thunder Rosa. From what I've seen, she appears to be a full class act, and the fact that Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker have had issues with her on a personal level outside of the ring. That should have been resolved months ago, and I don't understand why that was allowed to escalate. Is Thunder Rosa's injury legitimate? I don't know. But this whole thing is just very poorly handled, I should say, and very unprofessional from all the parties involved, and that's where you need a leader, a chairman of the company, to step in and set things right. And Tony Khan has yet to do anything like that and show that he has backbone to be able to lead this company, and that's sad because he has a tremendous roster. He has tremendous employees. Some incredible wrestling minds, some incredible talent, some incredible experienced guys in there that should be leading the company and aren't. And unfortunately, it seems to be a lot of the asylums, or I should say the inmates are running the asylum, and that's too bad. And you're letting a lot of kind of guys, inexperienced guys, kind of rule the show and let things go. And that's kind of why you're seeing a lot more injuries, I think, occurring, So I just implore, please, Tony, do what you gotta do. And let the experienced guys run the show. Let them run the company. Because previous to this, you had zero experience running a wrestling promotion. But there are guys in your company that do have experience running a wrestling promotion. And you should listen to them. But other than that, Rampage had, Jade Cargill threatened to hold the show up, which didn't end up happening, and apparently, Nyla Rose has stolen her vehicle, which last I knew was a crime. So we'll see how that goes. Kind of some crappy booking right there. I'm not real pleased with that, but we had Hook defend his FTW championship, whatnot. Interesting show. Right now, Dynamite and SmackDown are the two shows that I'm enjoying the most out of all the wrestling shows right now. So those are kind of the ones I'm tuned into, enjoying. Unfortunately, I haven't had a whole lot of time to view some of the lesser promotions. I know it sounds like I'm putting them down, but like NWA and some of the other stuff. I know they've. It looks like GCW's our days are probably numbered. It looks like, because AEW is cutting off any affiliation they're having with them. In other news, let me think. I know Ric Flair might be having another last match. Yay. God. What a way. This is a textbook on how to completely destroy your own legacy. Just horrible. Just horrible. What else once again, rest in peace to Nash, Kevin Nash's son. I haven't gotten all the details. I haven't had a lot of time to read up on what happened there, but that's anytime a parent loses their child, that's a horrible thing. Nash's been saying some stupid things lately, but I'll give him a pass just because he lost his son. So rest in peace, and prayers and thoughts going out to the Nash family for them. Other than that, that's probably where I'll end the show here. We're coming up on 30 minutes, so let me just give a shout out to ourselves. CrushingKayfabe.com, crushing with a K. Check us out there, and then you can get links to all of our other social media. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and Patreon. Become a patron on Patreon, I should say, for just $1. You help keep the lights on, and help support the show. Be really cool, and you can get the audio for $1, I should say, but you can get the audio without any ads. Unlike Spotify or YouTube, you can listen to the show without any ads. And shout out to Then and Now. You can get a ton of great stuff there. Our stuff is there, I should say. My wife's stuff is there. Handcrafted items from Hooked by Jenna Lynn. You can find her on Facebook. And while you're at it, check out Peggy's Attic and give them some love, because we carry our stuff there also, and my wife's handcrafted goods are there too. So that's in Milan, Tennessee, and Then Now is in Trenton, Tennessee. I probably should have said that, but check them out. And check out Trenton Tabletop and Gaming, downtown square, across from the courthouse. Give them a shout out. Tell them that Crushing Kayfabe sent you. They rent out tables for, you know, any type of collectible card game you want to play, any type of board game, any type of role playing game. You know, so they'll rent out a table for the day. You can play whatever you want there, you know, within limitations, obviously, you know, but give them a look. And also, when's the last time anybody's been to an arcade? You can play some stand-up arcade games, have some fun there. Some really cool stuff there, and give the owner a shout out and tell them Crushing Kayfabe sent you. So other than that, we got Lucky Lady Candles. Check them out on Facebook and Etsy. And meanwhile, let's see. I think that's about it as far as the promotions go. Tune in next week. We'll try to do a 1-year anniversary show. You know, once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for keeping me going here, and thank you for all your support. Thank you so much. Continue to do so, please. You know, crush that like button, crush that subscribe button, and do what you can for the show, please. You know, I'd love it if you became a patron on Patreon. That'd be great. But check us out, you know, and continue to send thoughts and prayers out to the people in Ukraine. From what I understand, they've had another massive shelling there. So try to contribute to UNICEF, to Red Cross, to whatever legitimate organization is sending aid to them, and continue with your thoughts and prayers. And this is far from over, unfortunately. So help them out if you can, please. All right. Other than that, you know, once again, thank you. And God bless. You know, thank you for tuning in and supporting the show for 1 year. Try to do a 1 year anniversary next show, and thank you so much.